And that's why we're talking about this today, is there's some misunderstandings out there about what's going on. So it's the physical premise and the written policy and procedures, but not necessarily all of them. So let me break it down here. We can go ahead and stop sharing that if you would, Kyla. I'm going to walk through kind of what's going on here. So there's three. Again, they've complicated this beyond what I think they intended. Three mandatory compliance dates. So the one that I think everybody kind of forgets about is January 1 of this year. There actually was a requirement, and it had to do with the false advertising and misrepresentation. Really didn't have to do with banks. It had to do with non-bank financial institutions trying to represent or misrepresent FDIC insurance. And so they put together some rules that said, hey, if you are misrepresenting FDIC signage, we're going to come after you and there will be consequences. So that was January 1 of this year. And so there wasn't much for all of you to do with respect to that. The second date, and this is the first part of the delay, was that there was a May 1st date. So that's why we're talking about this month, is that there was something you all had to do as of May 1st of this year. Number one, your signage within the premises. So that physical premises signage. So it would include the official signage, the 7x3 that you probably already have in all the right places for the most part. But it also added to it the non-deposit product signage. That's new, and it has to do with those non-deposit products. And you can't commingle those spaces absent some sort of physical space limitation, which will be completely subjective. At the end of the day, if you're not regulated by the FDIC, I don't think you have too much to worry about. You are subject to these rules, but I don't know that a whole lot of OCC examiners and Federal Reserve examiners are going to probably go barking up these trees. If you're FDIC regulated, it's their deal. Their name's on the sign. They're probably going to be looking at. Are they going to make trips to all of your institutions to look at the physical space? Probably not. They'll probably ask some questions, but there was a requirement as of May 1st. The official advertising statement. So when you do advertising, that was also May 1st. Now, there really wasn't much of a change, if any, to that, but any change that was associated with the official advertising, that went into effect May 1st. And I think the one that people either misunderstand the most or have forgotten about is the establishing of the written policies and procedures for how you're going to carry out compliance with the FDIC signage. That was also May 1st. Now, it's only specific to physical premises signage and the official advertising statement. Okay, at this point, your written policies and procedures do not yet have to account for the official digital signage. That would be for those digital deposit taking channels and ATMs that accept deposits. That has been delayed until March 1st of 2026. Now, the interesting thing about that delay is that what we've learned up to this point and what we think it looks like, it may not look at all like that, because when they put that delay out, and I'm just going to quote from the public notice here, but the FDIC plans to use the time between what was supposed to be the go date, which was May 1st, the most recent one anyway, to March 1st of next year to determine whether or not they should propose adjustments to the regulation. And if you go back and read the full thing, it's because it's complicated and they don't necessarily agree. That has a lot to do with the new leadership that's in place and just burden on financial institutions, which I think we'd all agree with. So it may look different in some way, shape, or form, or completely different than what it looks like today as it relates to the digital signage. Now, there's nothing that says that they won't go back and address physical stuff or anything like that, but I think they're going to probably make it much simpler to comply with some of that digital stuff. We'll see. Between now and March, they're supposed to come out with something, or yet another delay. Also want to leave you, I think, Emily, you put in the agenda, there's some tools and resources. We have a checklist that has the dates noted on there, so you can easily see what goes into effect with what date, and then also a sample policy and procedures template if you want to cross-reference it with what you've already put in place, or if you're sitting here going, holy cow, I forgot that, you don't have zero, or you're not starting on ground zero. You've got a place to start and move forward with that. So we just wanted to do a quick update today with the FDIC signage, since that date just crossed the calendar.